Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about something incredibly simple yet powerful: the freshness of the mind. In the fast-paced, pressure-filled world we live in, our minds are constantly working, solving problems, dealing with emotions, and processing information. But how often do we stop and think, is my mind really fresh? Keeping your mind fresh is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Just like we clean our homes, recharge our phones, or rest our bodies, our mind too needs space, calm, and clarity. A tired mind leads to poor decisions, emotional burnout, and lack of creativity. But a fresh mind, it is sharper, more creative, more patient, and infinitely more powerful. When your mind is fresh, you can face challenges with a new perspective, you can solve problems with less stress, and you can communicate better with the people around you. Freshness of the mind doesn't mean ignoring responsibilities. It means giving yourself the strength to carry them with balance. So, how do we keep our minds fresh? Through proper rest, healthy food, exercise, positive thinking, and most importantly, taking breaks. Whether it's 5 minutes of silence, a walk in nature, or a deep breath in the middle of a chaotic day, these small actions can recharge your mental battery more than you realize. Remember, the quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life. A fresh mind is a focused mind, a joyful mind, and ultimately, a successful mind. So take care of your mind. Keep it fresh, keep it sharp, and watch how your entire life transforms. In our daily lives, we are constantly faced with decisions, some small, like what to wear or eat, and others large, like choosing a career path, managing relationships, or handling financial responsibilities. The quality of these decisions directly depends on the state of our mind at the time we make them. When the mind is fresh, it can think clearly and analyze situations from different perspectives. You are better able to weigh pros and cons, foresee possible outcomes, and make choices based on logic rather than impulse. A fresh mind allows you to pause, reflect, and respond, rather than reacting emotionally or hastily. Moreover, mental freshness plays a crucial role in our emotional health. When we are mentally drained, even minor setbacks or disagreements can feel overwhelming. Our patience shortens, our tempers flare more easily, and we may misinterpret situations or lash out unintentionally. On the other hand, a refreshed mind helps us stay emotionally grounded. We become more tolerant, more understanding, and more in control of our feelings. In moments of stress, a fresh mind gives us the power to remain calm and think rationally. It creates a mental buffer zone, allowing us to regulate our emotions, manage pressure, and avoid being consumed by negative thoughts. Emotional stability is not the absence of feelings, but the ability to understand and manage them, and that ability thrives when the mind is well rested and uncluttered. Whether in the workplace, at home, or in social environments, being mentally refreshed helps us communicate more effectively, resolve conflicts peacefully, and maintain healthier relationships. Decision-making and emotional balance are not isolated traits. They are deeply connected, and both flourish when the mind is nurtured with clarity, rest, and positive energy. A fresh mind is like a clean canvas, ready to imagine, innovate, and create without the interference of cluttered thoughts or mental fatigue. When the mind is overworked or stressed, creativity suffers. It becomes harder to think outside the box, to find new solutions, or to bring originality into our work. But when the mind is well rested and mentally clear, ideas start flowing more freely. You begin to see connections between things you hadn't noticed before, and your ability to solve problems improves dramatically. Creativity isn't just about art or design. It's essential in every aspect of life. Whether you're a student trying to write an essay, a business person crafting a strategy, or a parent managing family challenges, creative thinking gives you the ability to approach situations with flexibility and imagination. And that kind of thinking only thrives when the mind is energized and alert. Mental freshness is also directly tied to productivity. A tired mind gets easily distracted, struggles to prioritize tasks, and takes longer to complete simple assignments. You may find yourself staring at your screen, rereading the same sentence, or jumping from one task to another without making real progress. In contrast, when your mind is fresh, you can concentrate better, stay organized, and work more efficiently. You make fewer mistakes, complete tasks faster, and even enjoy the process more because your brain isn't dragging itself through mental fog. And then there's focus, a critical skill in our distraction-filled world. With a fresh mind, it becomes much easier to maintain attention on what truly matters. You're less likely to be pulled into endless scrolling, unnecessary multitasking, or mindless procrastination. Instead, you can lock into a task with clarity and purpose. You become fully present in the moment, whether you're studying, working, or having a conversation. When your mental energy is renewed, your overall performance in all areas of life improves. You're more inventive, more productive, and more focused. You're not just doing more, you're doing better, with greater purpose and joy. In today's world, many people wear stress like a badge of honor. Long hours, constant multitasking, and little to no rest are often seen as signs of dedication or ambition. But the truth is, pushing your mind without giving it a chance to recharge can lead to serious consequences, both mentally and physically. A mind that is constantly under pressure, deprived of rest and peace, eventually becomes exhausted. And mental exhaustion is far more dangerous than we often realize. One of the first signs of a tired mind is a drop in performance. Tasks that once felt easy or enjoyable start to feel overwhelming. Concentration weakens, memory lapses become more frequent, and even basic decision-making becomes a struggle. You might find yourself making avoidable mistakes, forgetting important details, or simply feeling like you're always one step behind. No matter how skilled or intelligent a person is, a mentally fatigued mind cannot function at its best. Prolonged mental tiredness also leads to burnout, a state of complete emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion. Burnout doesn't just affect your work or studies, it affects your relationships, your mood, and your overall quality of life. You start to lose motivation, feel disconnected from things you once cared about, and experience a persistent sense of being drained. You may begin to question your abilities or lose confidence in yourself simply because your mind is too tired to support you. Alongside burnout, mental fatigue also fuels anxiety. When the mind is overworked and cluttered, it begins to worry excessively, often about things that are minor or out of our control. You may overthink situations, imagine worst-case scenarios, or feel a constant sense of unease, even when there's no immediate threat. Anxiety builds up silently, feeding off stress and lack of rest, until it starts affecting sleep, digestion, mood, and your overall mental health. A tired mind also struggles with emotional regulation. You may find yourself snapping at others, feeling irritable over small things, or feeling overly sensitive and overwhelmed. This emotional instability doesn't just affect you, it can strain your relationships with family, friends, and colleagues, making it even harder to find the peace and support you need to recover. When left unchecked, chronic stress and mental fatigue can spiral into more serious mental health issues such as depression, insomnia, and even physical illnesses. The brain and body are deeply connected, and neglecting one will inevitably harm the other. That's why it's so important to recognize the signs of a tired mind early and take intentional steps to rest, reset, and restore your mental well-being. Often, we believe that solving our mental fatigue requires complex solutions or long vacations. But in reality, the mind can begin to feel fresh and recharged through simple, everyday practices. These small, consistent actions may seem insignificant at first, but over time, they have a powerful impact on our mental clarity and emotional resilience. One of the most fundamental ways to refresh the mind is through rest. Not just sleep, but true rest. Moments when the brain is not under pressure to perform, produce, or process. While a good night's sleep is essential to reset brain function, short periods of mental rest during the day, like closing your eyes for a few minutes, sitting in silence, or doing nothing at all, can also work wonders. Rest allows the brain to clear out mental clutter, restore energy, and improve cognitive performance. When you rest, you're not being unproductive. You're allowing your mind the space it needs to restore its full power. Another incredibly effective yet often overlooked method of refreshing the mind is spending time in nature. A walk in the park, a quiet moment under a tree, or simply listening to the sounds of birds and rustling leaves. These moments can reduce mental stress dramatically. Nature has a grounding effect on the human mind. It pulls us out of the whirlwind of thoughts and brings us back to the present moment. Numerous studies have shown that even a short walk in a natural setting can improve mood, reduce anxiety, and enhance creative thinking. When surrounded by nature, the mind slows down, breathes deeper, and finds calm. Equally important are intentional breaks throughout the day. In a world where hustle is glorified, people often feel guilty for taking breaks. But the truth is, our brains are not designed for non-stop focus. After extended periods of concentration, our attention naturally begins to wane. Continuing to work beyond that point often leads to diminishing returns. Taking short, regular breaks, whether it's stepping away from your desk, stretching, listening to music, or enjoying a cup of tea, allows your mind to reset and return to the task with renewed energy and sharper focus. Even engaging in mind-refreshing activities like journaling, light physical exercise, meditation, or deep breathing can serve as effective mental resets. These practices help in decluttering the mind, reducing internal noise, and creating a sense of peace. Over time, they train the brain to find calm, even in moments of stress. What's important to understand is that refreshing your mind doesn't require major lifestyle changes. It requires consistent care through small, thoughtful actions that respect your mental needs. Just as you wouldn't let your phone battery run to 0% every day, you shouldn't allow your mind to stay drained. Through rest, breaks, and mindful interaction with the world around us, we can keep our minds clear, sharp, and ready to meet life with strength and joy. At the heart of every meaningful connection, whether personal or professional, lies effective communication. And effective communication begins with a clear, fresh, and focused mind. When your mind is cluttered with stress, fatigue, or emotional noise, it becomes harder to express your thoughts accurately or understand what others are truly saying. You may speak too quickly, respond defensively, or misinterpret someone's tone or words. These small missteps can gradually build misunderstandings, conflicts, and emotional distance. On the other hand, mental clarity sharpens your listening skills, your ability to empathize, and your capacity to respond thoughtfully. When your mind is calm and focused, you are better able to engage in conversations with patience and attention. You can listen, not just to reply, but to genuinely understand. This kind of presence creates trust and comfort in relationships. The people around you feel heard, respected, and valued, and in return, they are more likely to respond with the same level of openness and respect. Mental clarity also enhances your emotional intelligence, which plays a crucial role in building strong connections. With a fresh mind, you're more aware of your own emotions and better equipped to manage them. You're less likely to react impulsively or say something you regret. Instead, you're able to express yourself with kindness and clarity, even during disagreements or stressful situations. This emotional balance helps avoid unnecessary arguments and promotes healthy, solution-oriented conversations. In the workplace, a clear mind contributes to more professional and impactful communication. Whether you're presenting ideas, writing emails, or participating in meetings, a mentally fresh mindset allows you to stay confident, articulate, and focused. You're able to think on your feet, convey your message with clarity, and interact with others more effectively, earning respect and cooperation from colleagues, clients, or superiors. In family life or friendships, mental clarity allows you to be more emotionally available. When your mind is overwhelmed, it's easy to become withdrawn, irritable, or unresponsive. But when you take the time to refresh your mental state, you are able to show up for your loved ones, not just physically, but emotionally. You can offer support, celebrate their successes, and share in meaningful moments with sincerity and joy. Clear thinking also helps you resolve conflicts more peacefully. Instead of reacting based on ego or frustration, you're able to see the bigger picture, recognize the needs and feelings of others, and find common ground. This doesn't just prevent damage to relationships, it deepens them. Simply put, when your mind is fresh, your words carry more weight, your tone is more thoughtful, and your presence becomes more impactful. Strong relationships aren't built on loud voices or endless conversations. They're built on the quiet strength of understanding, clarity, and emotional balance. All of these qualities are born from a mind that is rested, present, and clear. Maintaining a fresh and healthy mind isn't something that happens by chance. It's the result of intentional daily habits. Just as physical fitness requires regular movement and proper nutrition, mental freshness depends on consistent mental hygiene. Among the most powerful tools for achieving this are exercise, meditation, and positive thinking. Simple yet transformative habits that, when practiced regularly, can significantly improve the state of your mind. Let's start with exercise. Physical activity doesn't just strengthen your body. It's one of the best ways to refresh and energize your mind. When you exercise, your brain releases endorphins, natural chemicals that boost your mood and reduce stress. It also improves blood flow to the brain, which helps with memory, focus, and clarity of thought. Whether it's a morning jog, a gym session, or even light stretching or dancing at home, regular movement helps shake off mental fatigue and keep your mind sharp. Over time, exercise also improves sleep quality and builds resilience against anxiety and depression, contributing to long-term mental well-being. Next, meditation and mindfulness practices play a crucial role in calming the chaos of the mind. In a world full of constant noise, notifications, deadlines, worries, meditation offers a moment of peace, stillness, and inward focus. Just a few minutes a day can help clear mental clutter, reduce emotional reactivity, and bring your attention back to the present moment. Meditation teaches you to observe your thoughts without being overwhelmed by them, which in turn strengthens your self-awareness and emotional control. This quiet mental space created through meditation becomes a sanctuary you can return to whenever life feels overwhelming. Alongside physical activity and mindfulness, cultivating a habit of positive thinking is another powerful way to keep your mind fresh. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to focus on what's working, what's meaningful, and what you can learn from every experience. Positive thinking helps rewire the brain over time to become more solution-focused and emotionally resilient. When faced with challenges, a positive mindset allows you to stay hopeful, motivated, and open to growth, rather than getting stuck in fear or negativity. Together, these habits create a daily routine that nourishes your mental clarity. They build a foundation of strength, focus, and optimism that helps you face everyday stress with balance and confidence. The more consistently you practice them, the more naturally they become a part of your life, like brushing your teeth or eating meals. And while the effects may not always be instant, over time they create lasting change, transforming not just your state of mind, but your entire experience of life. In the fast-paced routines of daily life, it's easy to lose sight of our bigger dreams and personal values. We often get so caught up in tasks, responsibilities, and external pressures that we forget to ask ourselves important questions. What truly matters to me? Am I moving in the direction I want? Am I living a life of meaning, or simply going through the motions? The answers to these questions lie not in constant activity, but in mental clarity. And mental clarity only comes when the mind is fresh, focused, and free from unnecessary noise. When your mind is fresh, you gain the ability to pause and reflect. You can step back from distractions and look at your life from a broader perspective. You start to recognize which activities energize you and which ones drain you. You become more aware of your passions, your purpose, and the values that guide you. A tired or overworked mind, by contrast, tends to operate in survival mode. focusing only on short-term tasks, often ignoring the deeper questions of personal fulfillment and long-term happiness. A clear, energized mind allows you to set meaningful goals, not just goals that look good on paper, but goals that are aligned with your true self. Whether it's building a career, nurturing relationships, developing a skill, or contributing to your community, a fresh mind helps you focus your time and energy on things that bring you joy and satisfaction. You begin to make choices based not on fear, pressure, or comparison, but on clarity, intention, and self-awareness. Moreover, a mentally fresh mindset supports consistency and discipline, both of which are essential to turning goals into reality. When you're mentally drained, you may struggle with procrastination, lack of motivation, or self-doubt. But when your mind is clear and recharged, you are better equipped to stay committed even when the journey gets challenging. You can handle setbacks with a sense of calm, learn from mistakes, and adjust your plans without giving up on your vision. Living a purposeful life doesn't require perfection. It requires presence. And presence comes from a calm, alert, and intentional mind. When your mind is refreshed, you become more aware of the present moment, more connected to the people around you, and more in tune with your inner compass. You begin to live each day not just by default, but by design, with focus, gratitude, and a sense of direction.